What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance Crew, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts. Today I'm actually very excited about this reaction video because this is something that I have been keeping tabs of. I've been paying attention to the photo leaks and everything from the set. I don't know anything about the plot or anything like that. I've been trying to, if there is anything like that out, I've intentionally tried to stay away from it. But for those of you that don't know, Mortal Kombat has a new movie about to come out. It's not related to any of the movies that were made in the 90s or anything like that. This is a whole new thing. I don't think it's also related to the reboot TV, not TV show, but the show that they had that was like episodes. And for those of you that remember it, it's not related to that either. But it seems like it's going to be PG, or not PG-13. That was the problem with the first movie. As much as I love the original Mortal Kombat movie, we're going to pretend like Annihilation doesn't exist. One thing that was a fatal flaw of that movie, ironically, was the fact that there was no like blood and gore. Like there was no, it needed to be R-rated. You can't make a Mortal Kombat movie without it being R-rated. And the fact they made a PG-13 Mortal Kombat movie was, well, it was just, I don't know. It's like neutering the franchise. But I did see somebody. I don't know if it was a video of somebody reacting to this, or if it was another website that just uploaded the trailer itself. But the title for the thing was restricted trailer. And I'm thinking if it's restricted, that means they're holding some stuff back for YouTube, which means there's some stuff that's not held back in the original movie. So that just further solidified the idea that it was rated R to me. But anyway, let's jump into this, see what it has to offer, and afterwards I'll go ahead and give you my impressions of everything Mortal Kombat, because again, the original movie, I was there when it first came out, and I loved it. Let's go and check this out. Hopefully they have the music still. That music for the original movie was so iconic.
First learned about this 7 years ago. On a mission in Brazil to capture a wanted fugitive. When we got there, it tore through our unit in seconds.
Well done.
The target had superhuman abilities. It had
So
the same
Sub-Zero's the
marking
one
you
that
call-
gave Jax his arms, I'm guessing.
It's a birthmark.
What do you mean?
He was born with it.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. It means you've been chosen.
Throughout history, different cultures all over the world reference a
Kung
great
Lao.
tournament of champions.
The Great
That
Kung
dragon
Lao.
marking? I think it's an invitation
Scorpion.
to fight for something known.
Oh yes, oh my gosh, I'm loving it. Yes.
As Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
These are your champions.
I'm Sonya. That's
Sonya
Kano.
Blade. Kano.
Okay.
Name's Jax.
Kung Lao. Lord Raiden.
Raiden.
Fate of Earth is in our hands.
No matter how many of my people you put in the ground,
We will not fail.
Selena. Shao
kill
Kahn.
them.
Is that Reptile? He was invisible for a second. Goro.
I am Sub-Zero.
Oh. Oh, that's some Mortal Kombat. Oh man, that's some X-ray shit.
Get over here!
You gotta add some more hysterical in your get over here. That Shang Tsung.
Wins. You fucking beauty.
April 16th. Oh yes. Just a quick heads up. All of the movies that are coming out around that time, Godzilla vs. King Kong, this, Coming to America, all those movies I'm going to be doing reactions to on Patreon around the time they come out. So just a quick heads up. All those movies are going to be reacted to when they come out. I will be jumping on to HBO Plus. Don't really like giving my money to HBO, but I will do it for the sake of some of these movies. And they'll be available around the time they come out. Normally I try to do one movie a week, so I don't know if like I know I won't have enough time to do multiple movies throughout the week, but if they come out like in quick succession, then I'll just like do one, and then the next week I'll do the next one, and so on and so forth. Also, before I do Godzilla vs. King Kong, I will be reacting to Kong Skull Island, because apparently that is part of that universe and something I need to check out before the Versus movie comes out. But as far as this movie is concerned, I'm gonna go ahead and give my pluses and my minuses, and then I'm gonna go give my impressions of just the Mortal Kombat cinema as a whole. Now the pluses, the gore, the martial arts, all that stuff is top notch. It looks like a live adapted version of Mortal Kombat 11. Like some of the moves they were doing were very X-Ray-esque. Not to mention the fact that they survived a lot of those crazy ass moves, which is very Mortal Kombat 11-ish. Like things that would be fatalities in real life, they're just able to survive. They're using a different plot, so it's not like just a repeated version of the Mortal Kombat storyline we all know about. I was debating all day today before I did a reaction to this what the storyline was going to be, if it was going to be covering the original tournament, if it was going to be covering a span of time like Mortal Kombat 1 through Mortal Kombat 3, if it was going to be covering the new timeline with Mortal Kombat, what Mortal Kombat 9 did, where it rebooted the story, or if it was going to be something that happened after the story, like the last story with Fire God Liu Kang and him creating a new timeline. Like, is this that, or it might just be something in its own universe entirely? But it would be interesting to see like if this was like the timeline that Mortal Kombat went into after the whole universal restart that it did in Mortal Kombat 11. So a lot of good characters, a couple missing characters. I didn't see Johnny Cage. I think the reptile was shown a couple of times. There was a picture, or there was a part where there was a thing that was invisible that was slowly like manifesting itself. I think that was Reptile. There was another part where somebody, I think it was Scorpion, killed this like creature looking thing, and I think that might have been Reptile maybe. I'd love to see like Baraka. We saw Melina. I don't know if Katana was in it or not. I wasn't. Maybe if she was, like the giveaway would have been the fans. I don't remember seeing fans, so I don't think she might have been in it. Liu Kang and Kung Lao, I love seeing them adapted well. I mean, the dude that played Liu Kang, his hair will never quite have the same volume and luster that Robin Shou had. The dude had amazing hair for Liu Kang. Speaking of which, they need to add Robin Shou skin for Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 11. They already gave Sonya, Johnny Cage, and Raiden their Mortal Kombat movie skins, so they need to give Liu Kang his. I'm trying to think of other like positive stuff that happened, because I mean I'm liking the storyline. The fact that it's new is something that it gives me something to look forward to, because like I said, I don't know what to expect. I don't know who's going to live. I don't know who's going to die. I don't know how some of the bad guys are working out, because they even changed those around. Like Sub-Zero is a bad guy in this. I mean, in the original storyline, he was a bad guy in Mortal Kombat 1, but quickly became not quickly became a good guy, but a new Sub-Zero took the mantle and he was a good guy. But it seems like Sub-Zero plays like a prominent role in as far as like bad guys is concerned in this movie. I don't know what he's doing in an apartment. That was kind of strange. Like, I don't know what his interaction with Sonya Blade and Jax is. Like, the special forces are after him apparently. Sonya introduced Kano as if they were partners. I believe in the original storyline, Kano was someone that was like with special forces for a second, but he was like kind of like a double agent, and he ended up killing Sonya's partner or something, and that's what led to her having her vendetta against him forever, because he tricked her and was able to kill her partner. I'm trying to think. There was a lot of characters in this, so there's always a debate about the sweet spot between quality and quantity. Like, you don't necessarily have to have a lot of characters to have a good movie. And what worries me is when you see a lot of characters, I start to get that Spider-Man 3 feeling. Like you're trying to focus too much on fan service at the cost of a well thought out story. Because there was a lot of characters in this. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue to be not just skeptical, but try to be somewhat optimistic. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. That's just something I noticed. Now, cons or negatives. The CG was kind of iffy. This looks like a very, and I don't mean to sound disrespectful when I say this, but this trailer looked very much like a high quality YouTube video. Like, I've seen YouTube videos that could match this trailer's quality. There was some CGI that was kind of iffy. Like, I know, like, the Goro CGI was kind of, I want to say funky, but it just had that uncanny valley thing to it. There was some particle effects that were kind of funny, like some of the blood and stuff looked kind of funny to me a bit. I mean, this is the first trailer, so they have time to try to like fix it and add the finishing touches on those things. But the thing does come out in like a couple months, so I don't know. I'm not big into like film development, so I don't know how much time they have between when the movie is presenting itself right now and when like everything is wrapped up and they're done. I would imagine with the fact that like movies aren't coming out in theaters necessarily, they would have a chance to like make this movie up until like the last minute, as opposed to like if you're releasing in theaters, you got to have all the stuff on film and you have to have it distributed and shipped out to all the theaters across the country and things like that. So you have less time. I don't really know how that works, but yeah. But in the end, that's kind of the only negatives I really saw. Like I said, there were a couple missing characters, which I would have liked to have seen. Johnny Cage, Baraka. I believe they showed Shang Tsung. I think that was Shang Tsung. And that's all I can think of off the top of my head. For me, Mortal Kombat 2 was the sweet spot. So I'm thinking of Mortal Kombat 2 characters, not Mortal Kombat 3. Seemed like they got all the Mortal Kombat 2 characters in there. Now, chances are there's probably a bunch of like Easter eggs and things like that in this trailer, so I'll probably go and watch somebody do a breakdown of it. I'm not going to react to it, likely, but I will watch some breakdowns. If you notice anything in this trailer and you want to go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section, and even better if you can have a timestamp of where the Easter egg might pop up, then that would be greatly appreciated. I will go back and check it out on my free time and see if I can notice the same thing. Now, on to what Mortal Kombat Cinema is meant to me. Now, I remember when Mortal Kombat first came out in theaters, I went to the movie theater and watched it. Again, great movie. No blood, no anything like that, but it's funny how that movie has become not just synonymous with Mortal Kombat, but it like actually affected the canon of Mortal Kombat with that movie. Like the fact that Kano all of a sudden became like Australian, like that was from that movie. From what I remember, Kano was Chinese, and they switched him over to Australian because the actor that played him so well that he like became synonymous with Kano. The debate between Johnny Cage and Goro and their rivalry, because in the games Liu Kang kills Goro, or at least beats him in the first Mortal Kombat. The movie had Johnny Cage kill Goro, so like there have been like little hints and stuff at their little rivalry ever since. Like I remember when I was younger, I bought some Mortal Kombat like toys, and there was like a package that had like two figures in it, and the package that I had Johnny Cage and Goro. This wasn't a movie related toy, it was a legitimate Mortal Kombat toy. That's it, but it had Johnny Cage and Goro. I remember playing Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. When you fight against Goro in that game, after you beat him, Johnny Cage actually comes in and like steals the kill from you. So it's like there's a lot of like Easter eggs calling back to that movie. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that may have come out of that movie. That I mean, the song, the Mortal Kombat song is. I like. Do I really have to even say anything? Like that song has become so tied with Mortal Kombat that if you mention Mortal Kombat to someone, chances are the song is the first thing they think of. Even though the funny thing about the song is it was never actually part of the Mortal Kombat games until Mortal Kombat 11. Like the games never touched on that song. That's the funny thing. So like yeah, like I'm not even sure who the artist is that made that song or what the other songs they made are like even are. I just know that that's probably one of the biggest one-hit wonders ever. The Mortal Kombat movie was also very interesting because video game movies are not known for their quality. Like not Mortal Kombat, but video game movies are very bad generally. So, like, even though Mortal Kombat, the original movie, was not the greatest movie in the world, it was still considered good. And because it was considered good, a lot of people consider it like the greatest video game movie of all time. And when you compare it, especially to the movies that came out around that time, like Street Fighter, Super Mario Brothers, and all that stuff, it's like head and shoulders above all the other ones. Oh man, only thing that didn't come out of that movie that I'm surprised hasn't come out is Liu Kang having a brother. Yeah, and also that movie did also lead to like some confusion because in the movie Liu Kang was related to the Great Kung Lao. Like he was a descendant of the Great Kung Lao, which would make the Kung Lao in the current generation like his cousin or something like that. Whereas in the video games, Liu Kang was not tied to the Kung Lao lineage. Only Kung Lao was tied to it. And that's kind of what led to Kung Lao's jealousy towards Liu Kang, because Liu Kang is like this chosen one, but Kung Lao feels like he should have that chosen one thing by birthright because he was descendants of the like original chosen one. And no, it kind of reminds me of like Goku and Vegeta's relationship. Like Liu Kang just kind of came out of nowhere. I believe he was an orphan also, so it's like he was a what would Vegeta call him again? I forgot what the name he called. Low class Saiyan. So he was like this low class, just guy that had no background, came from nowhere, was adopted into the Shaolin monks, and just became like stronger than everybody else. Whereas Kung Lao is like a royal bloodline and is supposed to be like the chosen one, but then this nobody comes in and just passes him, and so he always has this rivalry with him where like sometimes they use each other to help like build each other, but at the same time he's still like jealous of him. Very Dragon Ball Z-esque relationship. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I love talking Mortal Kombat. I love talking video games, but there are certain video games where I get deep into the lore, like Mortal Kombat, Final Fantasy, Star Wars games, things like that. So anything with very rich lore I usually like to get into. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I look forward to seeing you guys on a future video, and until then, I'm Devon DaVinci. Hopefully you've been enlightened, and I'm gonna give you the deuces, and I'm signing out. Deuces.